Alright, what's going on, my dudes? We're back here today with another video that I've wanted to make for a while now. We're going to be making a video on a champion that, if you couldn't tell from, the picture that plays at the beginning and end of my videos, I'm a pretty big fan of Mr. Fantastic. I like the guy a lot. As a character in general, as a champion at MCOC, I also think he is incredibly underrated. As it is right now, pre-buff. We're getting a little buff for this guy. He's getting a nice, very strictly value-only update, it looks like, too. For the longest time, I thought he's very underrated. The only thing about him is that he's not the most suicide-friendly champion in the entire game, so I don't use him too often, right? However, if you combine him with a nice synergy team, he could really do a lot of things, and we have a lot of really cool fights in this video today. So what we're going to do for this pre-buff video is we're going to take Mr. Fantastic up to Sig 200 and really put him at his best and see how he does in some pretty, high-tier endgame content today. We're not just going to mess around with this guy. He's really good for a lot of things right now. He really is, and now he's going to be even better for his attack is going to go up. The time of his debuffs is going to go up. You see all these green numbers here? Most of these numbers, they're going up, and that's like what this buff really is that the debuff length is increased, the fury on special 3 is increased, the attack per debuff is also increased. So what we're going to do today is we're going to test this guy out in a really fun way. First and foremost, we got the Council of Reeds. We have 6-star, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, and 2-star Mr. Fantastic, and we're gonna jump in against Realm of Legends Winter Soldier here and see what kind of damage we can do, because each one of these grants you plus 30% damage increase essentially per Mr. Fantastic, right? So this is it's not too game breaking, man. It really isn't. And you'll see after we do this, we're also going to show like a highlight of the Fantastic Four team, right? The full Fantastic Four team with Mr. Fantastic. And after that, we're going to have another team, and we're going to see the difference, right? We're not going to show the entire Winter Soldier fight because that would take too long for all of these. We're going to show the entire first one, of course. So I can show you his rotation. So essentially how Mr. Fantastic works is that if he is awakened, by the way, he gets a really nice benefit from being awakened, that you'll see that when Winter Soldier throws one more special one here, okay, we're going to get a passive study debuff, okay? A passive whatever it's called right there, all right? And now his special one is basically going to hit for like nothing, and that's really good. That's really good for, dealing with the defender and whatnot. And also another thing is our combat power rate is increased based on our Sig level, which is really nice. So another thing that you're going to notice here is that we're hitting kind of hard already, okay? So basically his attack goes up and up and up based on the amount of debuffs on the opponent. Now, we could have made it even higher here, gone for one more special 2, stacked all those debuffs up 3 times, and then went for the special 3, but Winter Soldier would have almost been dead at that point, so we really wanted to just keep it rolling, go for the special 3 now. But as you can see, we're about 50 hits in, and we're doing really good damage. Now we have the passive fury, which is really nice. Like this, look at that, a 31k heavy attack, and this guy's getting a value buff only to increase his attack. Think about that for a second. 14k mediums, 9k light attacks. He's good. He's really good. We're gonna go for a special 2 here, and now we have all the debuffs. Look at that. Look at this big damage that we're seeing. It didn't crit at the end, but it probably would have been like 40k or something if it did crit. Really good stuff. And now we got to bait out one more special 2 from this guy if we want to get the final passive study debuff, which we don't even need at this point because he's almost dead. Go for a special 1. Look at all those debuffs, man. Look at all of those debuffs. We're getting through this fight in about 80 hits here. Yeah, really not too bad, man. Really not too bad, ending with a 20k heavy attack. So that was about 2 minutes, give or take, right? Which is not the worst in 80 hits. It's really not the worst. Doing a lot of like parry heavy and stuff like that, and long animations definitely slows him down. But now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. Come on, what's going on here? Okay, a different team setup here, okay? We're going to get rid of all the Mr. Fantastics, and we're going to bring in the Fantastic Four team. I have all these guys at rank 5. I love the Fantastic Four. Now, at this point, there's a lot of different things that you can do. You could bring in She-Hulk for the power stings, right? You could bring in Dr. Doom to gain more power. Also bring in Dragon Man here, has a really nice synergy, which increases his attack rating on the special 1 and special 2 if you have the passive study debuff, right? But I think what we're going to end up doing in this showcase here is go with She-Hulk and get that that power sting damage. Now, Mr. Fantastic also has a really, really nice synergy with the whole Fantastic Four team. The only downside to it is that you kind of need the entire team with you to make it happen. Now, after the buff, you're going to be able to activate 3 debuffs at the start of the quest, which is really, really good for him. It's going to increase his damage significantly, where like normally like you go through the fight and you can get like the 2 debuffs right away, like I'm doing right now, and then you get like a decent attack increase, but going forward you'll be able to get all of the 3 debuffs, which is really, really nice. Now you'll notice the passive damage going on around a Winter Soldier here. It basically turns Mr. Fantastic into Void. So as you can see, he's taking 1224 per second here for a half second. Really, really good. So it looked like a lot more damage, right? Now keep in mind, the first one was 86 hits or 81 hits. This one was 86 hits. Now we're going to do one more team here. We're going to bring in another Mr. Fantastic, okay? The full Fantastic Four with one more Mr. Fantastic. And this is possibly my favorite team of it all because it really keeps true to the whole Council of Reed things, as well as allows you to have the passive damage as if you were using Void, as well as cover some more utility, you know, Thing and Human Torch as well. Hopefully Invisible Woman gets a bit of a buff as well, although I do like her currently, but she needs a whole different team setup to be really, really good. But anyway, with this team currently, you get to have all 3 debuffs at the start of the fight, plus the weakness when you parry, plus you have the weakness on the special 1 or the special 2 if you don't bait out the same heavy attack to gain more debuffs, right? Then of course we're going for the special 2s here to gain all of those, and we have the passive damage and we have the passive fury. And you know, funny enough, man, again, all 3 of these team setups, it looked as if they kind of did the same exact thing for us here, right? About 85 hits, right? So yeah, now, man, we're gonna go into a team here without the full Fantastic Four, without 5 Mr. Fantastics. The only synergy that we have here is Dr. Doom to give us a little bit more power, not even needed, and the Power Sting, again, not even entirely needed. But we're going to go up against the 6.2 champion boss here today, and we're going to completely destroy him, all right? Now, keep in mind that this is a champion that is going to be getting a buff, all right? So this champion that's about to solo the 6.2 champion boss, one of the hardest boss in the entire game, is going to get a buff. Now, why is Mr. Fantastic so good for this fight? Make sure we're recording. The reason why is because on the special 1, he puts a stagger on the opponent. Now watch this. All the buffs are just gone, okay? Now, how does the champion work? Is that when you get rid of his fury buffs, nullify his fury buffs, well, he loses a persistent charge, and then he can't go unstoppable, okay? So what we have to do here is just be very, very patient and just get this guy down to 0 persistent charges, and then get him in the corner, and essentially, man, the fight is just going to be over, okay? Also, we get rid of 1 persistent charge every 20 hits on the combo meter. That's why you're going to see the unstoppable proc for just a second here. Another thing that I forgot to mention that's going to make Mr. Fantastic really, really good for this fight, okay, is that he's going to have unblockable special attacks if you don't activate any of the pre-fights. So that's going to be very, very useful in this fight because we can just throw the special attacks as if it's nothing, right? You don't even have to worry about it. So that's really, really useful here, okay? Another thing as well is that when it comes to like baiting the special attacks, okay, having the weakness on the special 1 and even possibly the special 2 in the future is going to make this guy very easy to bait those special attacks from and take some hits on the block, not have to worry about anything. As you can see, man, we don't have suicides on because to run this sort of playstyle with Mr. Fantastic, you really do have to spam the special 1 over and over and over. But as you can see, we're topped up at 94% health and the champion is already down to 68% health, which is really, really good so far. We do have 88 hits on the combo meter. Keep in mind that the value buff is going to pretty much be addressing the damage and hopefully making his damage go a little bit higher and also making his debuffs last a little bit longer to make him less stressful to play. One thing that I think he really, really needs as well is he needs a bit of a reach improvement on his heavy attack. That would be really, really good, especially for his playstyle. But as you can see, we purposely just pushed the champion to a special 2 3 times in a row. So now we have 2 careful study debuffs on the opponent, okay? And now watch this, man. Our power, we're just going to be cycling special ones like it's absolutely nothing. So like 1-5 hit combo and we're back up to another special one. So at this point, the fight is essentially over, okay? And we have the power stings going up on the opponent every single time it happens. 2 power stings, which is adding a nice little tiny bit of passive damage as well. We're 132 hits in, so I definitely understand why this guy would only be needing a value buff, because obviously the utility of Mr. Fantastic is really, really, really good. Now, we showcased against Winter Soldier how his damage could also be really, really, really good if you have a lot of debuffs up on the opponent and you throw the special 1 or the special 3 and you get the Fury buff, the passive Fury. Now, we can't do that here because then the champion will go unstoppable and then nobody's going to have a good time, and then we're going to lose and we're going to get hit and we're not going to have fun with that, okay? So we're going to keep going for the special 1 rotation, and as you can see, it's very, very simple here. Another thing with the special 1 is that it places a taunt on the opponent, so it essentially is forcing the champion to immediately stand up and go for the special 1. So everything Mr. Fantastic has in his kit is just a perfect counter to the 6.2 champion boss. Arguably one of the best options, man. He's really, really, really good for this. He's really, really good for this fight. Now, one thing I should have mentioned as well, that if you do finagle your way into getting hit by the special 1 or the special 2, you only have to bait out 2 of them, okay? And I could also be going for more, possibly going for a special 2 here as well, if because of the increased power gain, it would be safe to go from special 2 into a special 1. I might even be able to swing a special 3 to make this go a little bit faster, but at this point, man, we're getting through the fight so significantly well that I don't feel like a little bit more speed is necessary at this point, because after he throws a special attack here, he's basically going to be down to his final phase, because we're going to go in for one more special, and here we go, final 10%. All we have to do is bait out the special attack and dex it 3 times in a row now, only 2 more times, and we're going to be good to go. So this was a very, very efficient Mr. Fantastic kill, solo, very, very easy solo against the 6.2 champion boss. As you can see, we only have to just dex out 2 more here. All right, we're going to go in here, and there is the 3rd. We're going to finish it off here with a big special 2. Look at that, 1-5 hit combo with 2 of the passive Careful Studies, and you're all the way up to another bar of power. So 240 hits against this guy, that's definitely a lot, but keep in mind, he got through it like it was absolutely nothing, and it was incredibly easy. So speaking of big content, man, we're also going to venture into the Abyss, and just for fun, we're going to bring the full Council of Reeds here. Again, people have soloed this fight without any synergy with Mr. Fantastic, but we are going to go ahead and bring in the full Council of Reeds because it's fun, and it's, you know, it's kind of impractical, but it is fun when you do get to use it. So this fight here against Darkhawk, we're not going to show the entire thing because it's about 7, 8, 9 minutes or so. It's an Abyss fight. There's 3 million health, right? But basically what you want to do here is you want to throw the special 2 3 times, because we have Despair at 3 out of 3, and that Petrify is very, very strong at 40% each with a 6-star. So, you know, a 6-star champion is going to have a 120% Petrify on the opponent, and then Despair is going to increase that by 15% for each debuff on the opponent. And there's going to be a lot of them, okay? So the way to go ahead and bait out the special, or to throw the special 2 here, is you pretty much want to get to the special 2, and then right when shield mode is going away, you want to throw it so that you can knock down the opponent, watch the debuffs just in time. Now keep in mind, one of the main things with the value buff is that those debuffs are going to last, I think, 3 to 4 seconds longer, so there's going to be a lot less stress for stuff like this where you can't immediately throw the special attack without being punished, okay? So that's going to be a really, really big improvement in my opinion for Mr. Fantastic going forward. But as you can see, once we baited out the 3 special 1s as well, it made our power gain significantly easier to get to, and now as well we can just go right in for the here I messed up a little bit there. I went to hit him, and unfortunately we missed right through Darkhawk, but that's totally fine because as you can see, it's going to be very easy to get all the way up to a special 2 after we have the Careful Study debuff on the opponent, without worrying about putting all of our power onto the opponent because of the Abyss node. So one more heavy attack here, and now we're up to 2 bars of power, and now we have to bait out the special 2, and now all we have to do is throw our own special 2, and now watch this. Watch the heal reversal here. That's about to happen. Watch Darkhawk's health. He just lost 8% health. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much keep pushing Darkhawk to special 2, and then we're going to cycle, you know, putting him into shield mode and putting him into null mode or stealth mode, okay? And the way to do that is just pretty much throwing a heavy attack while he's in his special 2 stealth mode, and that's going to consistently, because of Despair and the 120% Petrify, just consistently drain a lot of damage off of Darkhawk here, and that's going to work for, you know, anyone who heals as much as Darkhawk does. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to activate the special 3 as a way to push up Darkhawk to his own special 2. That's the thing about this fight here, is that you do have to be careful, you know, do it in a careful way, because otherwise you're going to keep throwing those special ones, all right? But pretty much you'll watch this, and we'll skip to the end of the fight just to show you that he can get through it. Right now, Mr. Fantastic is at 58% health, because we did take a lot of block damage blocking those special attacks at first. But keep in mind, once you get the careful study passives on the opponent, you're pretty much taking no damage from the special 1 and the special 2, even on the block, all right? But we'll look at how much damage this just did, and then we go in right for another one. So a lot of damage here. We're going to skip to the end here. We only lost 18% of our health throughout the remainder of that fight, and now he's at 10% health. So check this out. We're going to bait out one more special 2 here, go right into a heavy attack. Watch this, one more, and this is going to be it. Before the first set of Abyss charges even ended, we completely got through that fight in about 100 hits or so. So that's really not too bad. 103 hits for an Abyss solo, Abyss Darkhawk, man. So really good stuff, man. I'm really excited to see this buff, see what it does for Mr. Fantastic. I think he's going to be really useful after the buff. He's already useful right now. He's just a little bit slow in certain scenarios, and he does, you know, if you want to get that big damage, you do want to bring along the full Fantastic Four, and preferably either She-Hulk or Dragon Man, or one more Mr. Fantastic as well. So it'd be really cool if he can stand on his own, and going forward, when he can activate all 3 debuffs, I feel like he'll be able to, and there'll be more attack per debuff as well, and a nicer special 3 Fury, but only time will tell. We'll have to see. It should be entering the game very soon by the time you're watching this. But anyway, my dudes, that's going to be it for this pre-buff Mr. Fantastic video. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big ol' like. Comment what you think about seeing pre-buff Mr. Fantastic in the comment section below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future Mr. Fantastic gameplay coming to you very soon. I'll be seeing you around. Now let's see the animated mic version of Mr. Fantastic.